कृष्ण बलराम भगवान की, श्री श्री राधा बारणेश्वर भगवान की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव की, श्री श्री गौरनित्य भगवान की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद, चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, जय राधा श्यामा सुंदर राधा श्यामा सुंदर राधे, जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे, जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे, जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे, Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva. Shri Shri Radha Bharaneshwar Bhagavan ki, Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai, Shri Shri Gauranitai Bhagavan ki jai. Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravichkacharya Stotra Divine Grace Abhay Charanarendra Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravichkacharya Stotra Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Thakur ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Das Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ राधा कृष्ण श्याम गिरिवर्धन की जय. वृंदावन मथुरा गोकुल द्वारका धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुर धाम की जय. नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय. गंगा यमुना की जय. भक्ति तुलसी देवी की जय. सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे हरि बोल. All glorious assemblies, all glorious assembly, all glorious assembly, all Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmaye Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namo Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo brahmanya devaya go brahmanitaya cha jagadityaya krishnaya govindaya namo namaha. Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopakumaraya govindaya namo namaha. Govindaya namo namaha. Govindaya namo namaha. Namaha Pankajanabhaya, Namaha Pankajamaline, Namaha Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajankraye. Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Yemavadivya Chavisundaraya Tasme Ma Prema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradari Kripambadhiraham Tam Prapadye Panchatatatmakam Krishna Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Om Jnantimirandasya Jananjana Shlaka Chakshuran Vinitamin Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Namah Om Vishnupada Krishna Prestaya Bhutala Srimate Jayavata Swami Prabhupada Namah Acharya Padaya Nitya Kripa Pradayane Gaurakata Damadayana Granthari Namah Om Vishnupada Krishna Prestaya Bhutala Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachar Nirvesha Shunyat Pachata Desh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yakripatamahu Vande Paramananda Madhavam Vancha Kalpataru Besha Kripa Sindhu Vachapaditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, begging all of your blessings and also blessings of Vartamana Guru, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, our Acharya, Parampara Acharyas. We will recite and we will hear Srimad Bhagavatam for our own purification. Hare Krishna. Vatanavanti nahi shanti dasyavaha. It's not there, Shloka? Yeah. Prabhu, actually it should come on the... Yeah, no, actually it should come in the, what you call... See, no, yeah, present just now. I knew that it will not come, because it come with a small window also. One minute. Yeah, no, I mean it should come. Yeah, now okay. It's there now, no? One side. It's okay. Now okay. Okay. 458, Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Kanta, 5th chapter, 8th verse. Vatanavanti nahi santi dasyavaha prachina barhir jivati hogradandaha gaona kalyanta yadam kutor rajo Lokaduna kim pralayaya kalpate Vatanavanti nahi santi dasyavaha Prachina barhir jivati ogradandaha Gaona kalyanta yadam kato rajo Lokaduna kim pralayaya kalpate. We have 6 verses to recite one by one. Prasuti mishraha striya udvigna chitta. Prasuti mishra striya udvigna chitta. Uchur vipako vrijisaivatasya Uchur vipako vrijanasyaivatasya Yat prashyantinam duhritanam prajeshaha Yat pashyantinam duhritranam prajeshaha Sutam satim avadat vau anagham Sutam satim avadat vaya anagham Yastvantakaale vipta jata kalapaha. Yastvantakaale vipta jata kalapaha. Swashula suci arpita diggajendraha. Swashula suci arpita diggajendraha. Vitatya nityadi vadatashtradurdvajan. Vitatya nityadi vaditashtradurdvajan. Ucchattaha sthana itno binnade. Ucchattaha sthana itno binnade. Amarshayitva tam asahya tejasam. Amarshayitva tam asahya tejasam. Manyupulatam durniriksham prukutya. Manyupulatam durniriksham prukutya. Karaladramstha birudasta bhaganam. Karaladramstha birudasta bhaganam. Syatvastikim kopayato vidatuhu. Syatsvastikim kopayato vidatuhu. Bhavyevam budvigna drishoschamane. Bhavyenam budvigna drishoschamane. Janena dakshasya muhur mahatmanaha. Janena dakshasya muhur mahatmanaha. Utpetur utphata tamasashraso. Utpetur utphata tamasashraso. Bhayavaha divi bhumau cha paryak. Bhayavaha divi bhumau cha paryak. Thavasarudranu chareir mahamako. Thavasarudranu chareir mahamako. Nana yudair vamanakir udayuday. Nana yudair vamanakir udayuday. Pinge pishangir makarodaranane. Pingir pishangir makarodaranane. Paryadravadbhir vidurana rudyata. Paryadravadbhir vidurana rudyata. Hare Krishna, translation 4.5.8. Conjecturing on the origin of the storm, they said, there is no wind blowing and no cows are passing, nor is it possible that this dust storm could be raised by plunderers, for there is still the strong king Barhi, who would punish them. Where is this dust storm blowing from? Is the dissolution of the planet now occur? So, Purport Vishnu Prabhupada ki, specifically significant in this verse is Prachina Barhi Jivati. The king of that part of the land was known as Barhi, and although he was old, he was still living, and he was very strong ruler. Thus, there was no possibility of an invasion by thieves or plunderers. Indirectly, it is stated here that thieves, plunderers, rogues, and unwanted population can exist only in state of kingdom, where there is no strong ruler. When in the name of justice, thieves are allowed liberty, the state and the kingdom are disturbed by such plunderers and unwanted population. The dust storm created by the soldiers and assistance of Lord Shiva resemble the situation at the time of dissolution of this world. When there is a need for the dissolution of the material creation, this function is conducted by Lord Shiva. Therefore, the situation now created by him resembles the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. End of purport. 4.5.9. Prashuti, the wife of Daksha, along with the other women assembled, became very anxious and said, "This danger has been created by Daksha because the death of Sati, who even though completely innocent, quit her body as her sisters looked on." Prashuti being purport, Prashuti being soft-hearted woman, could immediately understand that the imminent danger approaching was due to the impious activity of hard-hearted Prajapati Daksha. He was so cruel that he could not save her youngest daughter Sati from the act of committing suicide in the presence of her sisters. Sati's mother could understand how much Sati had been pained by the insult of her father. Sati had been present along with the other daughters, and Daksha had purposefully received all of them, but because she had happened to be the wife of Lord Shiva, this consideration convinced the wife of Daksha of the danger which was ahead, and thus she knew that Daksha must be prepared to die for his heinous act. End of purport. 4.10. At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva's hair is scattered, and he pierces the rulers the different directions with his trident. He laughs and dances proudly, scattering the hands like flags as thunder scattered the clouds all over the world. Purport: Prashuti, who appreciated the power and strength of son in Lord Shiva, is describing what he does at the time of dissolution. The description indicated that the strength of Lord Shiva is so great that Daksha's power could not be set in comparison to it. At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva, with his trident in the hand, dances over rulers of different planets, and his hair is scattered, just as the clouds are scattered all directions in order to plunge the different planets into incessant torrents of rain. In the last phase of dissolution, all the planets become inundated with water, and that inundation is caused by dancing of Lord Shiva. This dance is called Pralaya dance, or the dance of dissolution. Prashuti could understand the dangers ahead resulted not only from Daksha's having neglected her daughter, but also because he is neglecting the prestige and honor of Lord Shiva. End of purport. 11. The gigantic black man beard is fearful. Deep by movements of his brows he scattered the luminous all over the sky, and he covered them with his strong piercing effulgence. Because of the misbehavior of Daksha, even Lord Brahma, Daksha's father, could not have been saved from the great exhibition of danger. There is no purport. 4.12. Because Srila Prabhupada, day and night, sleeping 2 hours, he wrote purports, and that's what made the movement. So skipping one word of Srila Prabhupada purport may not be good for our spiritual sadhana. It's as good as we're worshipping Srila Prabhupada. So it's better to make an effort to read every word of Srila Prabhupada's purport so that we can understand. While all the people talked among us themselves, Daksha saw dangerous omens from all sides and from the earth and the sky. In this verse, Daksha has been described as Mahatma. The word Mahatma has been commented upon by different commentators in various manners. Viraraga Acharya has indicated that this word Mahatma means steady in art. That is to say that Daksha was so strong-hearted that even when his beloved daughter was prepared to lay down her life, he was steady and unshaken. But in spite of his being strong-hearted, he was perturbed when he saw the various disturbances created by the gigantic black demon. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura remarks in this connection that even if one is called Mahatma, a great soul, unless he exhibits the symptoms of a Mahatma, he should be considered a Duratma or a degraded soul. In Bhagavad Gita 9:13, the word Mahatma describes the pure devotee of the Lord. Mahatmanastu Mambar Daiv Prakita Ashritaha. A Mahatma is always under the guidance of internal energy, the Supreme Personal Godhead, and thus, how could such a misbehaved person as Daksha be a Mahatma? A Mahatma is supposed to have all good qualities of demigods, and thus Daksha, lacking these qualities, could be called Mahatma. He should instead be called Duratma, a degraded soul. The word Mahatma to describe the quality of Daksha is used sarcastically. End of purport. 4.5.13. My dear Vidura, all followers of Lord Shiva surrounded the arena of sacrifice. Thus, they were short stature and were equipped with the various kinds of weapons. Their bodies appeared to be like those of sharks, blackish and yellows. They ran all around the sacrificial arena and thus began to create disturbances. Thus, in the translation purport by His Divine Abhay Shandarin Bhakti Swami Prabhupada for Canto 4, Chapter 5, verses 8 to 13. Srila Prabhupada ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. What is the name of the chapter? So what is the last word? The followers of Lord Shiva create disturbance in the sacrifice of Prajapati Daksha. So what is the chapter name? The chapter name, this number 5. Somebody say loudly, what is it? It's there. Frustration of the sacrifice of Daksha. Now let's start with a very simple question. Is it only frustration of Daksha or all the readers also? The readers and hearer also, right? It's the frustration, right? So why it is frustration for hearer as well as in the Daksha sacrifice? See, chapter 2 was Daksha curses Lord Shiva. Sacrifice was happening, Daksha was entering. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva did not get up. Daksha got annoyed and he cursed. He cursed that Lord Shiva should not have any share in the sacrifice. Please keep this in mind because we have only half an hour. We need to finish the essence of this. So, Daksha's curse is that Lord Shiva should not have the share. Then, that after cursing, Daksha leaves, Lord Shiva leaves, but the sacrifice happens. And then again, Daksha's yajna, this very famous yajna. So he performs his own yajna, where he invites everybody, but he does not invite his daughter or his son-in-law, Lord Shiva and Sati. So Lord Shiva, Sati wants to go, but Lord Shiva discourages to go because he says that you may not get the respect. But still, being the very affectionate daughter of Daksha, Sati goes, she does not get any respect, and then she gets humiliated and she leaves her body, quits her body in the sacrificial fire. You can see the third picture. And then we have chapter 4, Sati, 3 and 4 is completed now. Now is the fourth picture is the Veerabhadra. We just entered. So this is today's discussion. When Veerabhadra with all the followers of Lord Shiva, they were very special. All the followers are the one who are engaged in the devastation of the material creation. Can you imagine which type of Sena has come now to the sacrifice of Daksha? So now, our question is like this frustration, why it is in Srimad Bhagavatam? Lord Daksha also frustration, Lord Shiva also frustration, Lord Brahma also frustration, and we are also frustrated. Why it should appear in Srimad Bhagavatam? Is Srimad Bhagavatam was dedicated for that, to create frustration? So let's see the speaker of Bhagavatam, what was their mood first, before we go to today's discussion. What was the speaker who were in Srimad Bhagavatam, what was their mood? So I don't have time to go through all this, we'll just summarize. So first comes, we'll take first Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva says to Narada that, he says, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. So this is Vyasa's question. And then Narada says, you have not actually broadcast the sublime, spotless glories of personal Godhead. The screen is there, no? The philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental sense of the Lord is considered worthless. Are we now discussing about the Lord or we are discussing about somebody else? Huh? Daksha's, not about Lord. Please keep your answer till the end. Don't change it later. Hare Krishna. So now we are discussing about Daksha, Lord Shiva, and who? Sati Then Nandishwar, who is Nandishwar? The vehicle of Lord Shiva. And what is his form? Bull. And what is the representation of bull in Srimad Bhagavatam? Dharma. Dharma cursed Lord this Daksha. Dharma. So we have this, here going on, what is going on? Curse, counter curses, then suicide, then killing. See what is the episode we are talking about. So we should be frustrated, right? Hare Krishna. So now Vyasa and Narada, this is their discussion. Now we will go to Shaunaka and Suta Goswami. So Shaunaka says, O sage, please select the essence of all the scriptures and explain it for the good of all living beings. By such instruction, their hearts are fully satisfied. So whose hearts have been satisfied till now with hearing this? Is anybody there till the last three? Hare Krishna. So, and what is the reply of Suta Goswami? Shrotasvakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtan Hradayantasta Bhadrani Vidunoti Sursata. Suta Goswami says, Shri Krishna, the personal Godhead who is Paramatma super in everyone's heart and benefactor of truthful devotee, cleanses the desire of material enjoyment from the heart of devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So here, Suta Goswami is saying, whose message we should hear? Krishna's message. Then only purification will take. Now let's go to the next discussion of Sukadeva Goswami Parikshit. He says, Parikshit says, please let me know a man should hear, chant, remember, worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me. So he says what he should not do. And what is Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami's reply? He says, O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify and remember the person Godhead, who is the super soul, the control of the Savior from all miseries. So what is saying about whom we should hear, he says? About Lord Krishna. Now let's go to Narada Muni and Brahma. My dear father, Narada is telling to Brahma, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all the entities with metal elements by your personal energy? So in this Dakshajna, Brahma is also there. And one of today's verse we said, the last verse, between verse says, even Brahma could not actually say the wrath of the people who came to kill Daksha. So then Brahma says, therefore it's best for me to surrender unto his feet, which alone can deliver one from miseries of repeated birth and death. Such surrender is all auspicious and allows one to pursue all happiness. Even the sky cannot estimate the limits of his own explanation. So what can others do when Lord himself is unable to estimate his own limits? So Brahma also saying that we should surrender unto his feet, Krishna. Now let's go to Maitreya and Vidura, which we are studying now. Vidura said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in futile activities to attain happiness, but one finds neither satiation nor mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is aggregated by such activity. That means the distress will never finish. Please therefore give us the direction on how one should live for real happiness. This is Vidura's question. Because Vidura came from where? Duryodhana put him out and he came before just the Kurukshetra war. So he says, give direction how one should live real happiness. And what Maitreya says, simply by chanting and hearing of the transcendental name, form, etc., the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable conditions. Therefore, what to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet. So what here Maitreya says to Vidura, he says, can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable condition. Hearing about who? Krishna. Now, we will go for one more, which we studied, Mother Dehavati and Lord Kapila. So, Mother Dehavati says, I am very sick of the disturbance caused by material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. Abyss means never ending. So, he says, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance, suffering, non-stopping suffering. So what Kapila says, Satam prasangam amavira samvido bhavantirutkarashayana kadata joshana asva apavargavartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. He says, in the association of the pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced to the path of liberation and therefore is freed, and his attraction becomes fixed. The real devotional is begin. So all these people who spoke until now, we covered till 4th canto, what they were saying about whom we should hear? Krishna. And that only can relieve us from all miseries. Now we have here, Srimad Bhagavatam is for the one who is not envy, is not for non-envious people. Dharma Projit Atra Nirmasana Sadam. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the essence of frustration of Daksha's sacrifice? If all the speakers have said it's only Krishna to be glorified, and by glorifying Krishna all the miseries can go, then what is the essence of having this Daksha, significance of Daksha Yajna in this? You remember your statement, huh? So now we need to know the essence of Bhagavatam first, because I will go very short, quick, fast track. Srimad Bhagavatam is complete science of transcendence. Transcendence means which is not pertaining to the material knowledge, achintya, which is not easily understood by our material senses. Like what we are supposed to hear, why Bhagavatam is great, because it is not having 4 defects of human defects: committing mistakes, imperfect senses, illusion, and cheating propensity. These 4 are not there, neither in Srimad Bhagavatam nor the speakers of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this science of transcendence has got 2 branches. One is the knowledge of the nescience. What is the knowledge of nescience means? What is nescience means? Yeah, it's ajnana, but this nescience has got a different meaning. Its dictionary meaning is lack of knowledge, awareness, understanding. So nescience means basically we are aware of it, but we don't know it. It's like, to give you an example, we are aware of it, but we don't know it. Like if you take an example of a tree, we know that tree is there, but do we know how the root of the tree stands? But we know that we are aware that there is a root. Without root, the tree will not stand. But we don't know how the root. So the same way, what we say, that knowledge of nescience means that we know that there is a controller for this Prakriti, material nature. The cold comes, heat comes, rainy season comes, day comes, night comes. The whole material nature is working. But we know that somebody, but we don't know who is the real controller is. This is knowledge of nescience. And of course, there is a controller for it, certified by Vishnu Puran. And then we have knowledge of the knowable. So once we know that there is somebody who is that is the knowledge of the knowable, which is Krishna. Now, we need to take Shastra Praman. Is it so that by knowing nescience, by knowing the knowable, what happens to the one person who knows both? Any guess? All Bhakti Shastri should answer. I am not taking Bhakti Vaiva, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, or what is where this is certified that we should know both of this. We don't have time to wait. So Sri Ishopanidhas says, one who can learn the process of nescience and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. So we should learn nescience and science, or the knowledge, transcendental science. That means we should also understand what we see but we cannot understand, and also we should see who is the source of that, which we are not aware. Both of them. When he learns both, then it says that he can come out of the repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessed immortality. That means he can go back to Godhead. Now, okay, we know the what you call transcendental knowledge view. Sarvasya chaham hridisanya vishto mattasmrit janam apohanam cha vedesram veda vedant krit veda vedesha. Krishna says that transcendental knowledge to understand him. We understand. But what about this nescience? Is it connected with Krishna? Is the nescience is connected with Krishna? Yes, no? Hare Krishna. Because we are devotees. We will say everything is connected with Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes this verse to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and also he quotes to this Varanasi Mayavadis. Both. This appears two places. It may be appearing more, but I come across two. So, this verse is from Vishnu Purana. It says, the internal potential of the Supreme Lord Vishnu is spiritual, as verified by the Shastras. There is another spiritual potency known as Kshetrajna, or the living entity. So about the Lord Paramatma and Atma. Now the third potency, which is known as nescience, which we are talking now, makes the living entity godless and fills him with the fruit activity. So nescience, when one is under the nescience, what happens? What he becomes? He becomes godless. See, he doesn't know who is the controller behind, and then he becomes godless. So how nescience? Now we need to know how this nescience is manifested, because it's potency of the Lord. So this potency, how it is manifested in the material world, how the nescience is manifested in Srimad Bhagavatam. So how it is manifested? Actually it's manifested through Lord Brahma's secondary creation. When Lord Brahma created, what did he create? Somebody said, Kirtan Prabhupada said, when nescience came, ignorance, he said. It's the next manifestation. See, nescience means you are aware of it, but you do not know. Like you know that there is a root, but you don't know the root. But ignorance is that you do not know anything. Like tomorrow, I don't know what will happen. I am totally ignorant what is going to happen to me tomorrow. But in the case of nescience, it's not like that. I am aware of it, but I don't know. So ignorance means I don't know totally anything. So here, now, Lord Brahma, when he created, what did he create? Nescience means godlessness. Keep in mind, we need to understand. Nescience means there is godlessness. So when Lord Brahma created, what did he create? First thing, he created ignorance first. First he created. Why ignorance? Because the living entity, when they come, if they know the Lord, they cannot enjoy separate from the Lord. In order that they forget the Lord, they can enjoy that they want. So Lord Brahma created ignorance. This ignorance nothing but a derivation from nescience. So this shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam appears. It says, first of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number, and they are called Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha and Mahamoha. See, when one becomes godlessness, one is covered by ignorance, then he is covered by these 5 divisions of ignorance. Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha, Mahamoha. And what are those? Because these are all, we are all daily hearing, so I will go very fast. It says Tamishra means it is misuse of that minute independent of the conditioned soul to think that he can enjoy like the Supreme Lord. So this everything is connected with Daksha. You'll have to understand. So Daksha here actually neglected Lord Shiva. So misuse of that minute independence. And you want to enjoy like Lord Krishna. Then Andatamishra involves considering death to be the ultimate end. Then Tamas, the condition of not having anything about the spirit soul is called Tamas. 2nd chapter Bhagavad Gita. That's why Krishna says Pandita to Arjuna. You are a foolish, you talk like a Pandita, but you are a fool because you do not know anything about the spirit soul. This is the one, Tamas. And then Moha, thus the idea that I am this body and everything belongs to me is Moha. And Mahamoha is mad after material enjoyment. So when first Brahma created the material nature, first he created. So the living entity, when he comes, he is bound by this 5 ignorance, so that he will never come out of the bodily concept. He never come out. That's what Dehavati prayed. That abyss, he says abyss of ignorance, that means, abyss, our word was abyss of ignorance, that means we can never come out of this ignorance at all when we are bound by this 5 ignorance. So now this ignorance, where does will lead? This 5 ignorance, when it's covered, where does will lead? In common sense, I mean, just where it will lead? When one is covered, it will lead to all the anarthas. All the anarthas. We will go one by one. So the ignorance, this 5, when it's covered, it will lead to anarthas. Kama, Krodha, Mada, Masara, Moha. So in Daksha's example, we'll see now. Kama, mad after sense gratification. So in the 2nd chapter, which we read, Nandishwara's curse, he says, Daksha has accepted the body as all in all.
Therefore, since he has forgotten the Vishnu Pada or Vishnu Gati and is attached to sex life, clearly he says, Nandishwara, only within a short time we will have the face of a goat. That means it is degradation. So this is Kama, mad after sense gratification. Then Krodha, Daksha's anger towards Lord Shiva. So in 2nd chapter, 8th verse, Maitreya to Vidura says, before taking his seat, however, Daksha was very much offended to see Lord Shiva sitting and not showing him any respect. At that time, Daksha became greatly angry. And his eyes glowing, he began to speak very strongly against Lord Shiva. So Daksha, see how Daksha was actually covered by ignorance, and that ignorance manifested to anarthas. This happens to us also. This, when we are in nations, it happens to us, every living entity. And then Mada, Daksha's ego being leader of Prajapatis, 3rd chapter, 2nd verse, Maitreya to Vidura. When Lord Brahma appointed Daksha, the chief of all the Prajapatis, the progenitor population, Daksha became very much puffed up. So that was Mada. And then Matsara, Daksha's envy against Lord Shiva. 4:2, Vidura to Maitreya, Lord Shiva, the spiritual master of the entire world, is free from enmity. He is a peaceful personality and is always satisfied himself. He is the greatest among the demigods. How is it possible that Daksha could be inimical towards such an auspicious personality? See all these 6 anarthas in Daksha. Daksha's greedy for name, fame, etc. Daksha to the assembly before his cursing Lord Shiva. Shiva has spoiled the name and fame of the governor of the universe because Daksha was appointed as the leader of the Prajapati and has polluted the path of gentle manners. Because he is shameless, he does not know how to act. And then Moha, Daksha's attachment is body. Sati, before she gives up body, she says, my dear father, the opulence we possess is impossible for either you or your flatterers to imagine. For persons who engage in futile activities by performing great sacrifices are concerned with satisfying their body necessities by eating foods offered as a sacrifice. So now, Daksha is in nescience. That means he is aware that there is Supreme Lord, that's why he engages sacrifice, but he do not know what is the purpose of it. Then Daksha is covered by ignorance, Tamishra, Tamishra, Tamas Moha, Mahamoha. Then with that he become, all the anarthas manifested with him, which we saw all in these chapters. Now, so why we said frustration for Daksha? The frustration, the chapter name is frustration of sacrifice Daksha. Now why? We'll just summarize it. Because Daksha was envy towards Param Vaishnava Lord Shiva. Daksha insulted, humiliated Lord Shiva with unpleasant words. Daksha cursed Lord Shiva to be deprived of the share of sacrifice. Daksha neglected his daughter Sati, wife of Lord Shiva. Now, by offending Param Vaishnava, the result was, what was the result? Daksha was covered by nations, could not see the presence of Lord in everything, become godless, bereft of mercy of the Lord. By nations, ignorance manifested, Tamishra, Tamishra, Tamas Moha Mahamoha, bereft of Atma Tattva, only bodily conscious, destined to suffer repeated birth and death in 84 lakh species of material nature. That means I am just giving what we learn from this. When one is covered nations, he becomes godless. When one is covered by ignorance, that means he is destined to take, because ignorance is this only bodily concept, so it is destined to take 84 lakh species of life. And when the ignorance is manifest to anarthas, Kama, Krodha, Mada, Masya, Lobhava, waste of human form of life, it's animalistic life, and degraded to lower species. And then nations, ignorance and anarthas lead to frustration of the sacrifice of Daksha, or even in human life. So one who is under nations, ignorance and in anarthas, his life will never come out of frustration. He will be always frustration. So now we come back that this knowledge of this nations in Srimad Bhagavatam, how it is related in Srimad Bhagavatam, but we are supposed to hear something else, but we are something else here. So what is the significance that it is here in Srimad Bhagavatam? So this is the full chapters which we are going to see. Now up to 4th chapter we came, Veerabhadra, then Daksha will get a head of a goat because he was killed, and then the Lord appears. So now we go. So here Lord Vishnu Daksha says, the Lord continued, my dear Daksha, Dvija, I am the original personality of Godhead, but in order to create, maintain and annihilate maintain and annihilate this cosmic manifestation, I act through my material energy, and according to the different grades of activity, my representations are differently named. Lord Shiva, Gunavatar, or Lord Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada writes Gunavatar means Daksha offended Lord Vishnu. So now here, what do we get all of these 4 chapters? We think that the Lord is not involved. Right? Lord not involved. But who is Lord Shiva actually? Gunavatar of the Lord. So Daksha, even though he is the leader of all the Prajapatis, he has got a higher responsibility to cultivate everybody to bring to Krishna consciousness. He failed, number 1. And he identified with the position without knowing the actual his position in relation to the Supreme Lord as the maintainer. How the Prakriti is maintained? By the Gunavatar of the Lord, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, Gunavatar. So actually, Daksha actually failed. So since he has failed to understand his real position, then what if one has to degrade, how degradation will take place? Forgetting Krishna and offending the Vaishnavas. Now Daksha has seriously offended Lord Shiva. So here, but at the end of the sacrifice, what happens? This Virabhadra came now, then I don't want to take the next classes, but Daksha was killed actually, then he was revived to life, and then the Lord appears. There the Lord, because I started with, is there any connection of this with Srimad Bhagavatam and with the Lord? So at the end, this verse, Lord Vishnu, he speaks to Daksha. He says, the Lord continued, my dear Daksha, Dvija, twice born, because he is a Kshatriya also, it can be to a Brahmana also. I am the original personality Godhead, but in order to create, maintain and annihilate this cosmic manifestation, I act through my material energy, the external energy of the Prakriti, and according to the different grades of activity, my representations are differently named. So here it is Lord Shiva, who is the Guna avatar of the Lord. Now let's go to the take home. So what do we learn from this? So all of us, we know, is the screen is okay? It's going up and down here. So nescience, ignorance and anartha. So we are ignorant how the system should be. That is why it's frustration. Hare Krishna. So the morning prayer in our Srila Prabhupada's movement, the first prayer we are worshipping the Lord is Samsara Dava Naralida Loka Tranaya Karunya Gana Ganatvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunaranavasya Vande Guru Shri Charana. First we say Samsara Dava Naralida Loka. That this samsara is the ocean of miseries. Samsara Dava Naralida Loka. So you see all the prayers which I took, because I had gone like a fast like anything. So all the prayers, the speakers of Bhagavatam, it's I think okay now, no? Okay, anyway, no, it's okay now. I will continue the class. Leave it there, because Kirtan will get up now in 5 minutes. So, all the speakers of Bhagavatam, they spoke 2 things seriously. I mean 3 basically. One is the miseries of this material world. Then they cannot tolerate the miseries. And then they asked question how to come above this eternally. Then about the process which to come out of it. Of course, surrender to Krishna. So now here in our ISKCON movement, Brahmamanda Gaudiya Sampradaya, Srila Prabhupada established also the prayer from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur he took, that first we also tell the Lord where we are. Samsara Dava Naralida Loka. So we are also suffering in the ocean of misery. So he says, but how to come out? He says, by the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master at least 3 times a day. I should offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Hare Krishna. It doesn't help, so I just removed the connection. So, here, all what was the title of the chapter? Frustration of Daksha's sacrifice. So that frustration was because he did not identify who Lord Shiva was, who Vaishnava was. Right? So the Lord says, Lord Shiva is none other than me. At the end he says of this whole episode, Lord Shiva is none other than me. Is a guna, my guna avatar is Lord Shiva. So you offended me in a way. When we offended, and why that offense was there? That offense was because nescience, ignorance and anartha. So now that is when our movement, our first prayer is that we pray unto the Lord that I am suffering in this ocean of misery and please save me. And who can save? The spiritual master or the devotees, Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord. So the essence is seeing the presence of the Lord first is this. Seeing the presence of the Lord everywhere, in every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So one of the question was, how can we see this episode, Bhagavatam? Why it is there in Srimad Bhagavatam? Because we are supposed to see in every verse, every word, the presence of Krishna. Because in Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. That's what Krishna said in the beginning, that Dharma, Krishna has disappeared. So where the Dharma has taken shelter? And what was the question? The Dharma has taken shelter in Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is why whatever this great speaker, they are all Mahajanas. Whoever they spoke, they speak about the Dharma or the living entities. Jivera Swarupoy Nitya Krishna, that is the Dharma. That how to surrender to Krishna. So now, when we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, in every verse, every word, we are supposed to see the lotus feet of Krishna. That's how we look at Srimad Bhagavatam. Then, by offending the devotees, no one can be saved from nescience, ignorance and anarthas and certain to fall down to the degraded mental existence. See, it doesn't say by offending or nobody can be saved from Krishna. Because why Krishna? What Krishna says? Sarva dharman parityaja Mahamekam Sharanam Ham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshisha Masucha. So that Sarva Papebhyo, does it exclude Damaparad, Namaparad, Vaishnavaparad or any aparad? When Krishna himself says, yeah, if you are not sinful, you will not commit offenses. If you are not sinful, you will not commit offenses. It's a manifest from like nations, ignorance and anarthas. So once you are sinful only, you will do aparadha, otherwise you will never do aparadha. So does Krishna exclude? Apisya durachara bhajante mam anene sadhana mantavya samyak vyavasthito. Krishna doesn't exclude, but there is a but. What is that but? There is a but. He says in 4th chapter, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashtena sevaya upaddekshan te jnanam jnanina tatu darshana. What is that clause? See, I'll give this example. Krishna never leave anybody. If somebody, even one time if Krishna is chanting, he will never leave. That is Krishna's nature. Krishna has got his own position as Krishna. Devotee has got his own position as devotee. The relationship between them is devotion. All of them have their own shoes. They stand on that. And nobody can dictate one to the other. I mean, what I mean to say that nobody can dictate Krishna. Krishna is Abhijna Swarat. Janmadhyasya ato anvadita taras Abhijna Swarat. Swarat means fully independent. That means nobody can bound Krishna, nobody can dictate Krishna. What Krishna want to do, will do it. If he want to deliver the most sinful like Jagai Mata, he can do. Nobody can say. Shastra says that he has committed a great offense to a Vaishnava, to the Dham, or to anybody. You cannot save him. Krishna will say, no, my door is open for everybody. There is a verse here, Ramayana here, if those who are not read. In Ramayana, Lord Rama says, Vibhishan, everybody said, don't accept Vibhishan. But Lord Rama says, whoever comes to my lotus feet, I will accept them. So when it comes to Krishna's position, Krishna never rejects. But what is the condition? Like a king or a head of the state has got an authority to pardon the most greatest sinners, even a murderer. But there is one but. Is that what but? Somebody has to recommend him. Somebody has to recommend. Yes, he is a sinner, but under these circumstances he became a sinner, offender. Please pardon him. So the king or the head of the state will listen to that person who that president believes, trust. So the same way, we may be the greatest offender, we may be the greatest sinner, but there is a small recommendation, then Krishna says, I will forget that, I will take this. That's what Damodara Lila Brahmas, today Dhruva was glorifying, that how they were liberated. So Krishna, when we surrender, this is the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. If Srimad Bhagavatam says that one who recites Srimad Bhagavatam, one who surrenders Krishna, will never be deprived of mercy of Krishna. There are very outright statement is there. One who surrenders to Krishna, Krishna never leaves them. So that is the position of Krishna as the Supreme Personal Godhead, the most munificent Lord. That is why he came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to close his eyes. See, there are two things. When Putana came, Krishna opened the eyes. In Jagannath Puri, Krishna is always his opened eyes. Why actually there, all the acharyas they give, why when Putana came to kill Krishna, Krishna closed his eyes? Anybody can remember? It's there in the purport, it's not somewhere else. Huh? Oh, sorry, it's in the other class. So it's written there. When Putana came, Krishna closed his eyes, saying that he is not looking at sinful intention. Krishna doesn't want that she came to kill him. So when somebody comes to temple, we should understand that they come with the mercy of Krishna, and Krishna's mercy will flow to them. Krishna will just close his eyes to whatever they are. He say that this jiva has come to surrender unto me. And the same way, what Krishna is looking as Jagannath in the blown up eyes, full, no eyebrows only. When we went to Jagannath Puri one time, this Panda told us, there is no eyebrow for Krishna. Krishna is not closing eyes. Gopis were cursing why Brahma made eyebrows. So in Jagannath there is no eyebrow only. So Krishna there, Jagannath is looking. This devotee has come to me at the end after many, many births, deaths. You know, that's the mood of Jagannath. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Yeah, any questions, any doubt, any corrections? It's open, so it's, yeah.
Everyone is clear.
Hare Krishna, yeah.
There is no nuisance, so there is no ignorance, so there is no frustration.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we thank Prabhuji by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if you come regularly to the Srimad Bhagavatam, your nuisance will be removed.
Hare
So please attend without fail. Hare Krishna. So we'll move to the temple hall for further announcements. Hare.